everyone, welcome back if you're a returning visitor. My name is Jumblefluff and today I am doing another random creature design video. For this video, I've set up a couple of wheels to pick 3 animals that will be our inspiration for the creature I'm going to design today. So you can see the wheels already chosen. Our first animal is a giant leopard moth. And our second is a long-nosed horned frog. And we'll let the last wheel finish spinning to reveal that our third animal is a European dragon. I was super excited to get this combo of animals because I thought that this would be really fun. The long-nosed horned frog, I have a really hard time remembering all the words to describe this frog. Long-nosed horned frog is a really cool looking frog from, I think, Malaysia, And it kind of looks like a leaf because it's got like these sharp edges. And they say it's horned, but it is actually eyelids. Its eyelids are really sharp and pointy, like the tips of a leaf. And it also has a long pointy nose. So just laying on the ground with its like brown-green color, it really has great camouflage. The giant leopard moth is from North America. I think it might stretch down into Central America. Not 100% sure on that, but I know that it is definitely found in North America. And it's basically a pretty big moth. It's about 2 inches wide for the males. The females are quite a lot smaller. They're about half the size of the males, a little bit over half, but close to half. And they're really cool moths that have a black and white color scheme, and then they have like kind of this electric blue color that shows in the light of the black patches. And they also have like gold stripes on their stomach, and that's for males as well. The female moths don't have the yellowy orange color, but I thought that that would make a great color scheme for my creature design, so I was really excited about it. So my final creature was the dragon, and that was kind of a bit of a wild card. I actually had thought that I removed the mythical beast category from my wheel, but apparently I forgot. But that's okay because I'm really excited to do dragon because dragons are one of my favorite things to draw. I always love to draw dragons, so I thought it would be fun to try to make a moth frog dragon and see what we could come up with. And it was nice having really specific kinds of animals, like the moth and the frog are really distinct looking, so I think that will help a lot in generating ideas for the design. So I got started sketching after I brainstormed for a while, and I tried to think of what made each animal look distinct. So I already mentioned that I wanted to take the color scheme from the moth. I also wanted to take some other characteristics as well, such as the fuzzy, almost like a mane, like a lion's mane that moths have, like, or almost like a scarf also, maybe would be a good description. It kind of goes around the bottom of their head, up around their neck and throat. And that's usually like a nice, fuzzy section of the moth's body. And I also wanted to take the antenna, which I think could be really expressive and fun. And this moth has a great color scheme, so I was really excited to use it. And like the leopard spots I thought would turn out really nice. Let's see. So the second animal was the long-nosed horned frog. Long-nosed horned frog has a sharp eyelids above their eyes. That's where they get the name horned, even though they don't literally have horns. And they have a sharp, long protrusion, like where their nose is. So that's also where they get long-nosed. So long-nosed horned frogs have a really interesting face shape that I wanted to draw on. They also have, short, stout bodies, long legs that appear short when they are, you know, kind of compact and folded up, but when they're jumping or leaping, they look really long and stretched out. So I thought that that would be a really fun combination to play with. And I also wanted to pull some inspiration from the dragon as well. So from the dragon, I took horns, the protection on the belly, which is just kind of like bands, and then the long talons, and the tail, which is kind of spiky in this character. So those inspirations all came from the dragon. I thought that this was a really fun combination, and even just as soon as I started sketching it out, I knew that I liked it a lot. When I first got started, I colored the frog moth dragon with a lighter blue color that had kind of a greenish tone. And I really ended up not liking that. So the next day when I came back to the project and I was like, what is it I'm not liking about this? Because I knew that I had liked the sketch, but I didn't like where it was at this point. I realized that the colors were off. So I went back in and added a lot more of this richer, dark, kind of navy blue with like almost like purplish tones instead of greenish tones. And I think it looks a lot better after that. It was a lot of fun playing with the colors. I love the combination of the dark blue with the gold. I think it turned out really nicely. I've been trying to brainstorm what I would want to name this creature. To be honest, he reminds me of a couple of different, like, things. For some reason, he really reminds me of the King of Red Lions, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. That was one of my favorite games on the GameCube, so I was really obsessed with it. So I don't know if maybe that seeped into my imagination while I was drawing this. Another thing it reminded me of was like the Pukey monster from Monster Hunter. I think because of the shape of like the frog where the eyelids are really sharp above the eye. Something about that reminds me of the Pukey. And then what was another one? Oh, it reminded me of a Greninja from Pokemon because of the pose where he's kind of jumping in the air and he's a little more stretched out looking. It really reminded me of Greninja's fighting style where he is, you know, really relying on speed and reach. So it's kind of odd how coming up with this creature with different animals reminded me of other things that I have already seen. But I don't really think he turned out like any of those specifically, but just I can see it in certain, you know, elements of the design. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. I also kind of think with the horns, because he's got like 3 horns and then he has a horn on his nose. And that kind of reminds me of a Jackson chameleon because they have 2 horns and a horn on their nose. So that was kind of interesting too. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of different things came to mind. So when I was trying to think of a name for the creature, I still haven't settled on one, but I feel like I would want it to be something like Spotted because of the spots. Either emperor or king, and then like the animal type name. I'm not really sure what that would be. Like I need to fill in the blank here for a moth frog dragon. Maybe we could do Froggon, like a, what would that be? Spotted King Froggon. Hey, that's not bad. Maybe we'll stick with that. Spotted King Froggon. I don't know. We'll try it out. See how we like it. If you have any better ideas for a name, please leave them in the comments because otherwise he might get stuck with this one. I had a lot of fun doing the poses. I based his body shape off of a frog. So just to get started, I like literally took pictures off Pinterest and just copied the frog shape and then added all of these like embellishments to the body. after that point. So then he could have, you know, like the horns and the antenna and the wings and things that aren't frog related. Just to make it a little bit more easy on myself, like trying to imagine the body shape, I just decided to go with the frog from the beginning. That was something that I have picked up from watching Dina Norland's videos on creature design, where she says that, you know, you really need to pick kind of a main animal and then add elements of the other animals into it as you go. So I really like that idea, and I think it worked out really well for me. It was a lot of fun doing this character, but it took quite a long time. It's kind of hard on my brain, like figuring out exactly how I wanted to combine them. It took a lot of time sketching and looking at references. I think that this leopard moth is really cool looking, and I think that this frog is really cool looking. So if you are interested in animals, if you're like an animal nerd like myself, make sure you check them out because you'll not be disappointed. Coloring all of the 4 poses that I drew took a long time, just because the patterns were kind of intricate. I wanted to make sure that I included a lot of texture in it. So where the animal's mane is a lot of like fluffy texture. And then like the wings and the mane, I keep calling it mane. I don't know what it is called on a moth. I should probably look that up. I wanted to do these spots that give the leopard moth its name. So they kind of are based with like a dark gray blackish color, but they also have like tones of blue on them. So I think that came out really pretty. I also tried to add some like a blur effect on the edges of the spots to make them look a little more natural and not so, you know, drawn on. I kind of had a hard time finishing my video on time this week. Usually I try to get started early so I can have it done on time because I like to post on Friday. But this week, I don't know if you heard the news, but the Oblivion remaster released. So I've been really wanting to play it. Never played Oblivion, but I've played a lot of Skyrim. So once I saw it was out, I was like, ooh, I want to play that. I've heard that Oblivion is kind of more like a sillier game, which is my jam. I love silly things, don't take themselves too seriously. So I'm really looking forward to playing. So it was hard to, you know, put my butt in the chair and actually draw. But I did get it done, and I'm actually really happy with the results. So let me know what you guys think about this. Oh, what did we call him? Spotted King Froggon. You know, that's not too bad. I think I might go with that. But again, if you have a better idea, please leave it in the comments. So let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I know I enjoyed putting it together. I look forward to seeing you next week. I hope you have a great day and a fun weekend. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.